Tonight on the playlist, we'll step inside the Duluth Playhouse for a sneak preview of Rent. Grand Marais artist Betsy Bowen helps us expand our horizons, and UMD's jazz choir storms into the WDSE studio. It's time for the playlist.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Well, happy April Fool's Day. Tonight I have the honor of introducing the playlist on PBS. My name is Karen Sunderman, and I'm part of a team of people here ready to bring you a sampling of the great artists and art events happening in the neighborhood. In a half an hour, we can't cover everything, but we'll give you a pretty good idea of the creative energy at work right here in the North. Our first example, the Duluth Playhouse. It's working up an impressive staging of the musical Rent.
What you're seeing here is our partially getting nigh to finished set of Rent at the Duluth Playhouse. And this set serves multi-purpose, lots of different locations, from the Life Cafe, which is a real cafe location in New York, to the interior of Mark and Roger's apartment, to the Cat Scratch Club where my character dances. It's a multi-purpose set, so it's really cool. There's 3 levels. I think this is the highest we've ever been in the Playhouse and put people up there. For me, I do a lot of dancing on these stairs and out tonight, and so it's my access into Roger's apartment. So I get to do some fun moves on these stairs, which I will not show you.
You got the whole night. That's what we're up to, guys.
There are 18 actors and actresses in the community who have the talent to do Rent, and I think that local audiences are going to see that, and I'm excited to have them see it.
I play Angel Dumont Chenard. He's an interesting type. He's actually a cross-dressing street percussionist. So you'll see me in full drag during the course of the show.
One of the things that I think differentiates between a good show and a great show is if you paid attention to every single detail. And if every detail makes sense and it all fits together, then you have unity of a piece. And that's what we're really trying to do with Rent.
The power blows!
Rent, first of all, is just everybody knows the music and stuff like that, and Cheryl's done a real good job of trying to, as I'm sure she actually said too, staying true to Jonathan Larson's vision. But she's done some really neat things too with some rear screen projections, and we've kind of cleaned up the set so it's more about the actors and the characters in the show. You
have to have a cast that really acts as a company, and they have really done that. They are friends, and they've bonded as a community of actors to do this show.
What binds the fabric together when the raging, shifting winds of change keep ripping away?
This is a story of a group of friends. You know, the song Seasons of Love talks about a year in the life of friends. That's what this show is. And if they have these good relationships off stage, that's going to show on stage too.
It's awesome to bring the powerful message of love and diversity and acceptance and the power of that to Duluth. I think it's very exciting.
We're not gonna pay rent, 'cause everything is rent.
In the studio tonight from the Playhouse, Christine Seitz, the executive director, there we go, and Tessa Lenahan, promotion and just a fantastic supporter of all the things that go on at the Playhouse and the playground. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
What an exciting production, and how big of an undertaking is it to do Rent?
It's an ambitious undertaking to do Rent. You know, I think one of the reasons why Rent is such a big show is because it's a true collaboration between music and dance and the acting portion of it. So while the Playhouse has never shied away from a challenge, this is certainly one that goes to the top of the list.
Is it harder when people have expectations because they do know the music? They do know, you know, kind of how it goes.
You know, not necessarily. I mean, I think in many ways what a director will do then is try to take a fresh approach to the show, and I think ours is. I'm really proud of it because there are those that would say that they're rent heads, really know the show and know the history and follow it and could tell you what each character was wearing, and we intentionally didn't do that. So we designed a set that is not like the original set, and the costumes, while they're indicative of that era, aren't exactly what people might expect to have studied Rent and really follow the show. And that was a choice that we made. So it was our production, and it was these actors' character portrayals.
Now I know this was 2 weeks, the last week. We recorded this a while ago, so I know that hard work is going on and more is developing even as we speak.
You saw a little tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was in there for like the first 10 minutes and already everybody's just dancing and on their feet right away from the beginning of rehearsal, and in 10 minutes they're already working up a sweat and exhausted, yet have hours left of rehearsal.
That's why we're here and they're there.
But what a workout, truly. So tell me about the cast. How hard is it to 18? How many in this cast?
18, and it's an ensemble show, so each and every person has a role. So they're all integral to the story, and it requires a lot of physical, vocal, and emotional stamina to get through a show like Rent. It's all music, but at the same time, you're telling this this story, this really in-depth story, and then you're dancing on top of that. So it's quite an undertaking for them, and they're top-notch. It's absolute. It blows me away. It made me cry tonight. It's just so beautiful. They're just marvelous.
Yeah, each person has their own personality through their character, and they take ownership of it. And it's great to see it on stage.
And to watch that develop over, you said, practice rehearsals start long before showtime.
They do. Normally it's about an 8-week period because, you have to remember that our community artists usually have full-time jobs. So they're coming in the evenings 5 nights a week for 8 weeks, to be able to put on. And that's what it takes to put on a show of this magnitude, a show like Rent. So their dedication to art and to our community and bringing these great experiences is just awesome.
I could tell just when we stopped by at the rehearsal that when you say, yes, I'll be in this play, you make a commitment, and it kind of puts everything else on hold.
But artists, they do make a commitment, but they're making a commitment to art, to each other, to the project. It's a total investment. It has to be. An artist has to feel that way to be able to do what they do, because it is that much work and it does take that much emotion. And I think they're remarkable. We're very lucky to have the artists that we do in our community.
You're doing some fun things. When are the actual dates? Opens 1 week from tonight, right?
Yes.
And doing some fun things.
Yep, opening night is next Thursday night, the 8th, and the next week, Wednesday, April 14th, we're having Fuse Duluth night at the Playhouse. We're going to have a college connection, and then the week after that is our big final Wednesday event. We're doing La Vie Bohème night, and what we're doing is kind of letting everybody who wants to really rock out with Rent come and dress. Feel free to dress in your best bohemian wear. We're giving out free T-shirts. We're giving CDs and our upcoming tickets to the shows.
And we're singing Seasons of Love.
Yes.
Finale.
Are you willing to demonstrate for us tonight?
I am so willing to get on this table and sing it for you.
Okay, here's the last question. Are there any tickets left?
They're going so fast.
Yeah.
They really are. I promise you, if people don't get them the first weekend, they're not going to be able to come see the show, and they're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be the talk of the town, I have no doubt. And I'm so proud that the Playhouse can engage in ambitious, spectacular shows like this. And I hope it does for the Playhouse what it did for Broadway, and that is to introduce theater to a new generation. And as theater goers, as theater supporters, and revolutionize kind of maybe the American musical here.
Well, you've done a beautiful job. Thank you.
Thanks.
And as you both know, to pull off production, the scale of Rent, it takes a lot of people with a lot of different talents. So our guide is actually Kelly Lee, who is your stage manager for Rent. So she was kind enough to give us a backstage tour. Let's take a look.
I'm Kelly Lasley. I'm the stage manager for Rent. I pretty much tell people to go. We are standing on the set of Rent. There's one scene shift that we have to bring on 2 tables, 1 cube, 2 benches, and 6 chairs, and then another small table from an empty stage. And to do that quickly, we'll find out how to do that tonight. Backstage, here is a prop. They always vary in shape and size. Over here we have the prop table. And now we will go downstairs. Down here we have the green room. This is kind of where the cast comes to just kind of chill out before the show, during the show when they've got a small gap. Not that there's a lot of that for this show. Over here we have 3 lovely ensemble members. Derek Williams, Tanya Porter, and Andrea Zizos. Hi. Derek is also the hairstylist and makeup for the show.
These are the 2 angel wigs. This is the one he wears throughout the majority of the play. And then this would be
once he
his
goes
glammed up New Year's do. So there was 2 wigs put together and then 2 other wigs cut up and pinned into it. And then some, I think it's like floral arrangement stuff. And I believe that was a part of a necklace.
There's definitely lots to choose from.
Yeah.
Carol, our costume designer, she's got just tons and tons of really neat, colorful clothes to choose from. And that's what's kind of cool is like she's working with us and we get to all kind of experiment with our own characters. So that's kind of fun. We have some costumes already picked out for some of our different characters in our room. If you kind of want to come check it out, you can head over there. Like, for instance, we have a lot of the longer, heavier coats for when we're playing, like, homeless people and
on the
streets and, yeah, that kind of stuff. Definitely adds to the energy, I think, so, I don't know. And these boots are always fun to wear, so I'm just excited about that.
Was it easier to play your character once you got these little accessories?
Definitely.
Like having the wig and stuff?
Definitely.
I'm most excited about this cop thing that they just sprung on me.
On the costume racks, there's these little dividers. Everything to the right of whichever block has the name on it is all of their costumes. So just kind of knowing that I can help people achieve something just by organizing little things, I don't know, it makes me feel important, I guess.
Well, now I'd like to tell you how you can be important to the playlist. Be a contributor. You see this camera? It's a pretty groovy little thing. Now, if you've got one of your own, we'd like to get a heads up on arts events happening in your neighborhood. We're calling them art-o-mercials. Now, record a brief interview and some pictures to preview what's happening, and then submit it to our playlist website. You'll need to send some event information, and we'll see if we can put together a little piece about your project. Now, our first submission comes from Joan Farnham in Grand Marais. Thank you, Joan.
We have the Stations of the Cross exhibit. We had 27 artists participate in 14 stations.
Well, I'm fascinated with the number of artists that are here in Cook County.
Mary Ellen Ashcroft, who is the Reverend of Spirit of the Wilderness Episcopal Church, approached me and said she had this idea.
In the past, I've done some experimenting with trying to bring together the spiritual community, artists.
It's been so fun to have these 2 worlds really come together.
I just feel like sparks fly when you put these 2 different communities together.
The exhibit really speaks to universal issues that I think everyone feels very inspired by.
I'm really excited about it. I'm loving it.
Our featured artist tonight has a piece in that exhibit. She's Betsy Bowen. Her name may or may not be familiar to you, but I think you'll know her work. She does distinctive woodcut prints with fantastic spirit in Grand Marais. This spring, she took on the challenge of making a piece for that Stations of the Cross exhibit, and it's really fun to see how a gifted artist stretches her creative boundaries.
I'm part of a Stations of the Cross project, which is means that I have an assignment of making some art piece that's with the content of one particular Station of the Cross. I've got in mind icons. I've always loved the graphic look of the Russian icons and your old European church icons. So what I'm doing is just a kind of a little test of like how this might work. The way I've figured out that painting can kind of work for me is that I can paint on a black background. And with black, it's more like taking it away, more like the woodcut, because the black lines have to remain. I have to think of not covering that up, and that's in a way the same thing as thinking about how to not cut the parts that are going to remain the lines in the woodcut. So there's something sort of backwards about it that just fits me just right. Backwards is good. I really like it too. I like the look of it. Okay, it's kind of like velvet painting. How do you see this traditional, previously or originally European kind of theology in North Shore terms? So a plaid shirt, it's kind of working for me so far. And especially in the middle of winter here, it's just great to have an idea come to me out of the blue, like, hi, hey, would you be willing to do some art that's about the Stations of the Cross? Huh, sure, okay. Yeah, I wonder what that is. I'll do it. So, yeah, it is. It's nice to go to sleep sleeping on some idea that's beyond my world that otherwise I would be thinking up, whatever it might have been. I don't know. There's just always ideas. Where does it really come from? I don't know. Just so much more to learn about all of it that it keeps it interesting. No question. It's more fun to just like dive in. Just like, yeah, I'm doing this now. I mean, that's the fun of it, I guess, is just allowing some time to be able to just fool around. That's what's nice for me about saying yes to a project without, and not feeling like I have to have something in mind first before I say yes, because then I know that it's a chance for me to come up with something that'll surprise me, probably. Well, not so bad. Yeah, not so bad.
Well, please welcome our musical guest. This is Lake Effect, directed by Tina Thielen Gaffey, and I think you'll know the tune.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, the free, and the home of the
Wow, that is a powerful, powerful sound, guys. Way to go. Thank you so much. Okay, here's the hard question. What does it take to be at this level? What does it take to be in Lake Effect?
There's a little bit of a process that you have to go through. There's kind of 3 main steps. There's the group audition, so there's a selected portion of a piece that we'll be working on later in the year. You're expected to come memorized and be able to hold your part along with everyone else. And then there's also a solo audition where you prepare your own like jazz standard and you perform that for her. And then within that, you normally do a little improv or scat section where you just fly by the seat of your pants and kind of keep up with the chord changes. So, and then if you make it, it's the same thing over and over. Practice, practice, practice. But the payoff is wonderful.
It sounds like you guys have been doing a lot of practicing recently, and you're practicing for something coming up in 1 week from tonight. Who wants to tell me? You want to tell me about what's coming up?
A week from tonight, we open our vocal jazz cabaret show, and we do it every year around this time. And the first half of the show is just a normal vocal jazz concert, and then the second half of the show is a themed show. And this year's theme is Dance Dance Evolution, and it's going to be really, really fun.
That's very cool. And it is a fundraiser for
China.
China. And tell me, where are you going?
We're going to Beijing, China this summer in August to sing at the International Symposium for Music Education.
Fantastic. And they're also selling CDs that go with their performance. Fantastic music. And you can go hear them in person a week from tonight. So we hope you'll play with your playlist with us. There's information online, as I said, and you can join us on Facebook and Twitter when you want to keep up what's happening and what's developing with the show. And you can't really premiere a show on April 1st without a little foolishness. So our friends at the Renegade Theater Company helped us out. The improv team played a little round of 2-line vocabulary in honor of the playlist. And so put some good stuff on your playlist. Go support an artist. Thanks.
Those of you that have seen the show before may have seen us play this game. It is called 2-line vocabulary. The way this works is I'm going to get a suggestion from you guys in the audience for a scene. We're going to start acting out that scene. However, these players can only speak the 2 lines that you guys supply from the audience, all right? I can say whatever I want. I can, justify whatever they talk about, but they can only say those 2 specific lines. Is that your dog? Just do it. And yours are?
April Fools and...
Good, Jody. Way to have a memory. Wow. We can edit that. How does that work?
How does that work?
Yeah, okay. And then can I get just a suggestion for a place of employment?
Dentist.
The dentist at Disney World. The dentist at Disney World. All right, so we're just going to take a second here, and then we'll come out and do the scene. All right, come on in. My 12 o'clock. Come on in, buddy. How's it going, Goofy?
April Fools.
Yeah, I know you're not really Goofy. You can take the head off. It's hard to get at your teeth if you got the big mask on. Oh, yeah. Good, good. How you doing, bud? Long time no see. How you been?
How does that work?
This goes into your mouth, and I scrape at some stuff, and then probably some blood comes, and
April Fools.
No, really blood. A lot of blood.
Is that your dog?
Well, he's not my dog, but he is Walt Disney's dog.
How does that work?
Well, that is a genetic anomaly. I don't know how that works. It's kind of a freak.
Yeah, just do it.
Okay, all right. We'll get to you in a second. You just have a seat right over there. So if you could just open up for me. Oh, that looks good in there. You've been doing a good job flossing.
Just do it!
I'm trying to do it. You don't have to make the noise when you open your mouth. That's not part of the thing. Okay. All right, here we go. And scrapey, scrapey.
How does that work?
Well, it's a hook, and it digs into your gum line and pulls the plaque off. The plaque is the little hard bits that you don't care. Open your mouth.
April Fool.
He got me. He got me. I don't know how, but he got me.
Whoa, is that your dog?
That is the spit sink.
How does that work?
It's a sink that you spit in. I guess the name's pretty just try it. Let's give it a shot.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it. Very excited. Just go ahead and spit in the sink. See? Blood. I told you. You okay?
How does that work?
How does blood work? Oh, okay. We're gonna try the next patient. You go have
Is that your dog?
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and by viewers like you.